Nick speaking. Right, well, welcome to this video. Yeah, I'm in the middle of painting these gauze flayers, and well, sort of reminded me really about batch painting and my techniques of how I batch paint, which I thought maybe I'd just share with you guys. So yeah, personally I prefer to batch paint. Okay, it's okay if you're just painting a little independent character or something, just to paint one model or a couple of models, you know, at a time. But personally, I find it easier to batch paint. So paint a squad of 10 guys, or in the case of Necron, sometimes a squad of 20 guys. But the reason why I like batch painting is because I can get the models to all look the same, and that's how I like my models. You know, I like them to all match each other as, you know, best as I can, really. So yeah, I do prefer batch painting. So this is how I do it, really. I've got 20 flayers here, and it is a bit daunting when you're painting in batches. You know, it seems like you've got an awful lot to do. So the first step is to actually break down your batch into a sensible, manageable amount. So in this case, I'd break these models down into 5. So I'd actually have 4 bits of 5, and then I'd paint 5. That would be my aim, to paint just five of these. Once I've done 5, I say, right, 25% done, so just concentrate on the next 5, and once I get those 5 done, I think, brilliant, I'm halfway through. I then just concentrate on the next 5 and almost talk myself into doing it. Actually, one of my favourite things before I start painting is I always say to myself, you know, if I don't do it, they won't get done. And I sort of say that to myself. If I'm feeling a bit, I'm not sure I want to paint this, and I just say, right, come on, Nick, you know, if you don't do it, it won't get done. And then I get cracking, and you know, once you get into it, it comes along quite easy, really. The other thing which I do is I try to not put too much pressure on myself. So rather than saying, right, I've got this lot here to paint, you know, 20 to paint, I'm gonna, you know, sit down, I'm going to try and paint them all quick as I can. You know, I tend to space out the timing of it. So, for example, at this moment in time, I'm painting this green section here, and the very first one that I did, I timed, and it took me about 12 minutes to paint one of these green bits. So I knew that, you know, the next set of 4 was probably going to take me an hour. So that would be my target. So right, I'm going to paint for an hour, I'm going to paint those 4. And then I'd have a break, you know, half an hour break or something, and then come back and say, right, now I'm going to paint for another half an hour, and my aim's going to be to get, you know, 2 done, maybe 3 if I can. And I'd just sort of get it into my mind and sort of time out the sessions, really, just to make it a bit more manageable, rather than sitting down thinking, right, going to paint, you know, like 20 of these, it's going to take me, you know, 5 hours, I'm going to sit down and do it. I just sort of space it out, just so that you know, in my mind I know exactly what I'm doing, and it's more manageable. So yeah, that's one thing that I do. So yeah, the other thing is you've got to have a bit of self-discipline, really. The thing which I find the easiest to do is to do one section at a time and do it on every single one. So like, you paint that section is coming down, then the next one, the next one, next one, next one, and the key here is to be disciplined enough to actually finish doing that section before you move on to the next one. Which, if you're painting something you've never painted before, I know it can be quite exciting sometimes that, you know, you're going to paint something, an area, you know, a certain type of blend or whatever you're doing for the first time, and you just want to get it done and try it out and see how it's going to look. But you know, it is far better if you can just do one section at a time and get it done on all of them, in terms of getting it complete quickly. Because obviously the other factor is, if you do one certain blend on here, and then you have to go back and start painting like the green section over here, it's almost like you're painting single models. You know, you're not actually batch painting. So the technique with batch painting really is to paint one section at a time on each one, and then go back, paint a different section on each one, so you can get them all looking the same, and you're painting in batches, literally. Alright, the other thing which I do is when I'm mixing up my paint is I try to put on slightly more than I need, because I hate wasting paint. So I might paint, say my target's to paint 2, so I'll paint 2 up. I'll put enough on there to do 2 and a bit. So I'll paint the 2 up, and then there'll be a bit of paint left, and I think I don't want to waste it, so I'll start another one. And then you start the next one and you get halfway through and you think, well, I need some more paint now, so you put some more paint on and you finish that one up, and there's that little bit left, and sort of just keeping the paint on there basically encourages me to continue to paint as well. So that's it really. That's just something which I thought I'd throw out there. If you've got any techniques that you use to basically batch paint, stuff that's going to motivate you. And obviously having my YouTube channel and my blog and stuff, that's brilliant motivation for keeping me painting. But yeah, I always tend to set myself little targets just to try and make it a bit easier really. But I definitely prefer batch painting over just painting a single mini. I think the results are much more rewarding as well. I mean, okay, it's great having your HQ just painted up, really nice, brilliant. But there's nothing like just pumping out a unit of 10 guys. I mean, in this case I'm painting 2 ghost arcs, so I could have just painted one and then gone on to the next one, but no, I prefer to paint them together, and that way I can get them looking the same as well. So there you go, that's just my thoughts, and thanks for watching.